Hi, I'm Aoi. Today, I'm going to talk about cultural appropriation. Do you know the word cultural appropriation? Simply speaking, cultural appropriation is to steal another nation's culture. Many people are sensitive about the topic, and they feel uncomfortable with cultural exchange. We should rethink cultural appropriation and make our world more free and delightful. In 2013, on the American Music Awards stage, Katy Perry was criticized as a racist. At the award ceremony in Los Angeles, California, she showed up dressed in a Japanese kimono or in a Chinese chanson or both to sing unconditionally. Some people hate the melding of Chinese and Japanese culture as if they were one thing. Moreover, her song unconditionally means you're supposed to love no matter what, and some audience thought it is not good because the image of geishas are prostitutes. A Japanese woman from a kimono store helped make her costume, and she oversaw everything they were doing and made sure that it maintained all its authenticity. Did all her American critics know this fact? But from this article's comments, I can guess that critics don't care. On the other hand, most Japanese reacted positively, but some people were amused or simply disapproved. In this situation, however, it seems that her performance was not ill-intended. Cultural appropriation is a difficult problem to understand, and we should know about its negative and positive aspects. This problem affects people not only in America, but also in other countries, including Japan. Negative and disrespectful cultural appropriation is historically rooted and ignores people's feelings. There were some Native American tribes, and they had been damaged by slaughter and forced immigration from the 1860s. Ishi was the last member of the Yahi tribe, where large slaughter started in 1865, and was studied by white scholars. Sexton Pope, who was an American doctor, teacher, author, and outdoorsman, became famous as the father of modern bow hunting by studying Ishi's skill. But it is said that their relationship was not equal. This case was based on Orientalism, where Western people study Eastern or sometimes inferior culture as a subject, and it was derived from superiority complex, haughtiness, and prejudice. Edward Wadi Said saw it critically and said that Orientalism made the romantic and wrong images of Asian and Middle East and caused hidden justification of the ambition of imperialism and colonialism. It can be said that they identified other cultures willfully by studying and tried to represent their power by collecting other cultural artifacts in their museums. We can discuss this issue as a problem of cultural ownership, not just of Orientalism. For example, a Coca-Cola TV commercial with Namie Amuro. In this commercial, Namie Amuro, who is a famous singer in Japan, was dancing with men who were wearing black uniforms, and its dancing is something like haka. Haka is a general name for the dances of Maori, the native people in New Zealand. However, a Maori tribe protested that they didn't perform haka correctly. It is a traditional dance and difficult to pass, so their disgust is a natural result. Another example is music festivals. Many music festival goers often wear costumes like a war bonnet. A war bonnet is a traditional and sacred costume of Native Americans. This is analogous to casually wearing a Purple Heart or a Medal of Honor that was not earned, Simon Moya Smith, a journalist of the Oglala Lakota Nation, said. For this reason, some musical festivals decided to prohibit war bonnets. However, There are positive types of cultural appropriation. These cases usually unfold over a long history. In relationships between cultures, there are often instances of reverse import or cultural reappropriation. Everyone thinks pizza was born in Italy. However, in fact, the familiar pizza came from America. A simple food called pizza was eaten by low-income residents in Italy. Then, it was imported and developed to today's gorgeous pizza in America, and it returned to Italy. In addition, radio exercise, which is famous as a Japanese strange culture, was born in America. The biggest American life insurance company, MetLife, had broadcasted a radio exercise program called Setting Up Exercise as a commercial in 1925, and it became the base of Japanese radio exercise. And more, kimono, a traditional Japanese dress, was influenced by China from the Kofun period to the early Heian period. Over a long period, the clothes developed uniquely. We can say that these cases are positive cultural appropriation. In other words, cultural fusion. Culture is not a solid object and cannot be owned. Cultures are always fluid, connecting, and changing. Here, there is a problem. Particularly in the internet, a controversy about racism, cultural appropriation, is rising, and what is remarkable is the excessive social justice movements. In general, it is said that there is a need to get approval from the people who use the culture if you want to use it. For example, an American must ask Japanese if he can wear kimono or not when he wants to wear it. Of course, sacred things which have deep meaning and special role like war bonnets should be considered, but foreign people cannot decide whether a cultural thing can be used casually or not. For this reason, although it is strange for many Japanese, there is a custom to ask for permission on the internet forums. To this point, some non-natives attacked the people who experience Japanese culture, ignoring Japanese people's thoughts. And in fact, some Asian Americans are also criticizing white people who use Japanese culture, and the reason is not only for cultural conservation but also for their identity. Behind these situations, it seems that there is still a kind of imperialism. The idea of non-native and native critics is based on discrimination and the conception of majority and minority, dominate and be dominated. The reason behind most criticism is the idea that imitation of a minority culture by a majority is disrespectful. For example, when a white American family held a Japan-themed birthday party and the daughter wore a kimono and painted her face white, the internet went up in flames. And vice versa. If Japanese wear American vintage dress, no one criticizes them because there is no doubt about her longing for American culture. Against such critics, who subconsciously think of such matters in terms inferior and superior, which is the basis of imperialistic thinking, Masahito Katayama, an associate professor at Kyushu University School of Design, said they need to focus more on our future. The thought of cultural appropriation is an old colonialist idea, and artists shouldn't be obstructed because of this. Creation is tradition and innovation. Culture is not to protect old things. It is a renewal. He said that most young people haven't felt borders, and the world should be like that. Because of the tendency to criticize by those who are sensitive about cultural appropriation, Japanese culture is also facing a crisis. Many people keep away from Japanese culture because they are afraid of being criticized. It may make Japanese economics weak or make Japanese culture die out. To change this situation, Asai Hiromi, New York-based internationally acclaimed fashion designer and kimono stylist, began epochal work. She introduces kimono as a universal fashion which is beyond culture and nation, and held a remarkable fashion show at New York Collection in 2016. Of course, there is great merit to the idea that traditional things should be conserved and passed on the next generation. However, when this idea becomes too strict, it can be unnatural, because, like in the case of kimono, every new culture's birth starts from imitation. Culture fusion is natural and very interesting because we can be creative by touching new philosophies. We get creativity from foreign culture and make new things, and this process has been done since ancient times, and it's a very human behavior. Experiencing and using different culture is a very important activity for us. At the same time, preserving our own culture is also important. To save culture, we should understand the clear difference between disrespect for cultural appropriation and respect for cultural appropriation. That is culture fusion. To understand the difference, we must throw away the idea of borders. With such widespread cultural identifier as kimono and cosplay, Japan is in a unique position to introduce a tolerant culture to the world. It is our responsibility to fix this situation.